Zimska magla lagano se spuštala na Split, dok su se ulice centra polako punile jutarnjom gužvom. Na rivi, poznatoj splitskoj promenadi uz more, turisti su se još uvijek družili u kafićima unatoč hladnoći, a lokalni glazbenici pripremali su svoju opremu za još jedan dan sviranja pod otvorenim nebom. Među njima je bio i maestro Antonio Marović, 60-godišnji violinist, čija je reputacija sejala daleko izvan granica Dalmacije. Visok i gospodstvene pojave, s dugom sjedom, kosom vezanom u rep i uvijek elegantno odjeven, Antonio je bio legenda splitske glazbene scene. Svirao je u najboljem orkestru u Zagrebu, nastupao po cijeloj Europi, a sada je u mirovini provodio vrijeme svirajući turistima na rivi. Maestro Antonio, pozvao ga je Marko, vlasnik obližnjeg kafića. Hoćete li danas svirati? Čače mi, Copacabana? Gosti stalno pitaju. Antonio se nasmijao. Naravno, Marko, sve za goste. Dok je Antonio prilagođavao svoju violinu, primijetio je malu figuru koja se skromno približavala. Bio je to dječak od možda 10 godina, tanjen i bijel, u odjeći koja je bila očito previše velika za njega. Nosio je istrošenu školsku torbu i gledao je Antonijevu violinu s fascinated očima. Dobar dan, tiho je rekao dječak. Dobar dan, mali, odgovorio je Antonio s toplim osmijehom. Kako se zoveš? Luka. Luka Petrić. A što radiš ovdje sam? Luka. Zar ne bi trebao biti u školi? Luka je pogledao dolje, nije znajući što reći. Danas je subota, gospodine. Antonio se nasmijao svojoj greški. Naravno, izvini. A što te toliko zanima ova violina? Lukine oči su se illuminated. To je najljepši instrument koji sam ikad vidio. Kako zvuči? To je kao da anđeli pjevaju. Antonio je bio dirnut čistom fascinacijom dječaka. Ti voliš glazbu? Više od ičega na svijetu, odgovorio je Luka s passion that surprised Antonio. Sanjam da jednog dana naučim svirati violinu. Zašto ne ideš na kurs? Sigurno postoje glazbene škole ovdje u Splitu. Lukino, lice se pomračilo. Mama kaže da je to previše skupo i da trebam fokusirati on stvari koje će mi pomoći pronaći posao požnjej. Antonio je osjetio tugu u svojem srcu. Prepoznao je hanger za glazbom u dječakovim očima. Isti hanger koji je osjećao kada je bio mlad. Luka, odakle si? Iz Lučca. To je malo mjesto near Split. Živim s mamom i babom. Tata nije s nama. Antonio je razumio. Još jedna obitelj koja struggle financially. Mama radi 2 posla, nastavio je Luka, ne znajući zašto share those personal detalje with strancom. Čisti urede noću i prodaje na tržnici tijekom dana. Baba je bolesna, pa većinu vremena care for her. A ti, što radiš after škola? Pomažem mami on tržnica. Carry bags, sortiranje vegetables. Sometimes dolazim here on riva kada završim jer volim slušati glazbu. Antonio je pogledao ovog young boy i seen someone who reminded him svojeg younger self. Grown up poor u malom village near Split, Antonio je također sanjao da postane violinist, while njegova obitelj je bila skeptična. Luka, rekao je Antonio carefully, bi li želio learn few stvari o violini? Lukove oči se enlarged with excitement. Really? You be me taught? Well, možda few basic stvari. Nothing professional, razumije. Oh da, exclaimed Luka. To bi bilo amazing. Antonio je looked around. Several tourists bili su gathering, expecting njegov performance. Listen, moram svirati now za turiste. Ali tomorrow, ako your mama allowed, možeš doći hire ponovno. Pokazat ću ti few basic stvari. Hvala vam, maestro, rekao je Luka, his face glowing with happiness. Neću you disappointed. While Antonio began svoj performance, Luka se settled on nearby bench, watching every movement, every gesture. Kako Antonio, drawn sound from strings. Other tourists listened casually. Some dropped coins into his case. Neki took photos. But Luka watched Kao to his life-dependent night. Sljedećeg dana, Luka je arrived na riva 30 minutes early, waiting patiently za Antonio. When Maestro finally appeared, Luka practically bounced with excitement. Good morning, maestro. Mama je rekla da mogu stay za hour. Excellent. Antonio smiled. Ali, first tell me, zašto you so interested u violinu specifically? Why not guitar ili piano? Luca thought carefully. Kada hear violinu. It makes me feel kao da mogu fly. Kao da all my problems disappear. When you played yesterday, forgot sam da je mama tired, da je baba sick, da nemamo much money. For that moment, everything was beautiful. Antonio J, moved by the boy's sincerity, reached into his case. I extracted smaller practice violinu. This J violin I used kada-sam bio your age. Now first thing you need learn is kako properly hold. It is our next hour. Antonio patiently showed Luca basics. Kako hold violinu, kako position fingers, kako draw bow across strings. Luca was awkward initial, struggling with coordination. Ali, his enthusiasm never wavered. It's harder than I thought, Luca admitted after producing several squeaky, unpleasant sounds. Everything worthwhile is hard in the beginning, Antonio assured him. But you have something important. You have passion. That's more important than natural talent. After hour ended, Luca reluctantly returned violin. Maestro, when Mojum come again? How about every Saturday morning? If your mama agrees, hope you ask her tonight. But that evening, Luca encountered unexpected opposition. Luca sine, his mother Maria said wearily. We've talked about this. Music's a nice hobby. Ali, you need focusiro on school subjects that you help you get real job. But mama, Maestro Antonio says I have talent. Talent ne pays bills, reclaye Maria, exhaustion clear u njenom voice. I work 2 jobs just tako we can afford renty food. I can't afford muzyczni lessons ili expensive violin. But he's teaching. Me free, I samo need hour every Saturday. And what happens kada he gets tired of teaching you? What happens kada he moves ili stops? You'll be disappointed again. Luca's grandmother, Anna, who was listening from her bed, called out, Maria, let the boy have something to brings him joy. God knows we've had little enough odd that. Mama, please don't interfere, Maria replied. I'm trying to raise him, realistically. I'm trying to help him keep hope alive, Anna countered. What's life without dreams? That night, Luca lay in bed thinking about conversation. He understood Mama's concerns. Ali couldn't give up na this opportunity. Finally, made decision that would surprise everyone. Sljedećeg Saturday, Luca arrived na riva as usual. Ali Antonio immediately noticed something different. Boy looked thinner, and there were dark circles under his eyes. Luca, jesi li u redu? You look tired. I'm fine, maestro. Ready's a lesson. Ali. During lesson, Antonio noticed Dahe Luca struggling more than usual to concentrate. When did you last eat? Antonio asked directly. Luca hesitated. I had breakfast. What did you have? Bread. Just bread? Luca nodded reluctantly. Antonio ye alarmed. Luca, what's going on kod kuće? Nothing's wrong, Luca insisted. Everything's fine. Ali tijekom sljedećih several weeks. Antonio noticed pattern. Luca was often hungry during their lessons. His clothes became looser. Sometimes he would fall asleep on bench after lesson ended. One day, Antonio decided to investigate. After their lesson, followed Luca at distance as boy made his way towards bus station. Was shocked, Kada saw Luca approach several people, asking za spare coins. Luca, called out Antonio, hurrying preco. Boy turned, face red with embarrassment. Maestro, I was just... Što se događa? Why are you asking people za money? Luca's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. I know this is shameful. I'm not judging you. Tell me truth. Through tears, Luca explained. Mama lost one at her jobs 2 weeks ago. Office building got new cleaning company. Now we barely have enough zia rent I baba's medicine. Mama doesn't know I come here anymore. She thinks I'm at library studying. And you're not eating, so there's more food za your family? Luca nodded. And you're asking za coins to help buy food? Another nod. Antonio felt his heart breaking. This child was sacrificing everything, including his health, just a few hours of music lessons, Bez letting his family know. "Luca, sit down." They sat on bench overlooking harbor. "This ends now," Antonio said firmly. Luca's face fell. "You don't want to teach me anymore?" "Nay. I mean the hunger ends. I mean hiding from your family ends. I want meet your mother. But she won't understand." "Then we'll make her understand. Music isn't just hobby, Luca. It's calling. And you," Antonio paused, realizing something he'd been denying. "You have real talent, more than I initially thought." "Really?" "Da. In all my years teaching, I've rarely encountered students and natural feelings of music that you have. When you play, Chucky's simple exercises, there's something magical." For first time you weeks, Luca smiled genuinely. "Maestro, możem ask you something? Anything. Why are you helping me? You don't know me. You could be teaching rich kids koji. Can pay proper fees." Antonio was quiet a long moment. "Porque cada sambayo your age. I also dreamed of being violinist. My family was poor, like yours. But one Dan stranger helped me. Give me chance I never would have had otherwise." "What happened?" "I became professional musician, played in orchestras around world, had wonderful career. But always remember Dječak started because one person believed you me kada I couldn't afford. To believe you myself." Antonio stood up. "Now I think it's time to meet your family." That evening, Antonio accompanied Luca to his family's small apartment u Dječak. Maria was suspicious when strange man appeared na her door sa her son. "Luca, tikoje ovaj gospodin." "Mama, this je maestro Antonio. He's been teaching me violin." Maria's face tensed. "I told you we can't afford—" "Mrs. Petrich," Antonio interrupted gently. "Możemy enter. I think we need talk." Reluctantly, Maria let them you. Small apartment was clean. Ali clearly showed signs of financial struggle. Luca's grandmother Anna was resting on couch, obviously ill. Ali curious about visitor. "Mrs. Petrich," Antonio began, "your son's a remarkable boy." "I know he's good boy, Ali." "Nay, listen to me. I've been professional musicians of 40 years. I've taught hundreds of students. Your son has something very special. Maestro, with respect, we can't afford music lessons. I barely afford rent. I'm medicines of my mother." "I'm not asking the money," Antonio said. "I want help your son because I believe he has talent that shouldn't be wasted." Anna spoke up from couch. "What kind of talent?" Antonio turned towards her. "Mrs. Anna, right? Your grandson has natural musical ability that comes maybe once you generation. When he plays violin, its counter music flows through him naturally. But he's only been learning few weeks," Maria protested. "Exactly. And already he can play simple melodies with expression that takes most students years to develop." Antonio stood up. "Would you like Cesar yourself?" He gestured to Luca, who nervously picked up practice violin they'd brought. "Play Ode to Joy, Kaush do I taught you," encouraged Antonio. Luca placed violin under his chin. I began to play Beethoven's famous melody. Room became absolutely silent. What emerged was not perfect technique. There were few wrong notes, some squeaks, hesitation. Ali, underneath that, there was something undeniably beautiful. Way Luca phrased music, way he made simple melody sing with emotion, left both women speechless. When he finished, tears were running down Anna's cheeks. "Oh my God," whispered Maria. "Where did that come from?" "From his heart," Antonio answered. "That can't be taught. That's gift." Anna smiled through her tears. "His grandfather was musician, you know. Played accordion at village celebrations. Died before Luca was born. But maybe talent runs you family," Antonio finished. Maria looked at her son's new eyes. "Luca, why didn't you tell me you were this good?" "I didn't know if I was good," Luca replied honestly. I just knew it made me happy. Antonio kneeled down next to Maria. Mrs. Petric, I want make you proposition. Allow me to properly train your son. I have contacts at Zagreb Music Academy. If he continues developing kao što I believe he will, there are scholarships available za talented students from disadvantaged backgrounds. But we still can't afford, I told you, I'm not asking za money. Consider it. Investment you your son's future. Maria looked around room, at her sick mother, at her struggling family, at her son who was looking at her with hope in his eyes. What would be involved? Proper lessons twice a week. Access to better instrument. Introduction to music theory. If he progresses kao što I expect, entry to music camp this summer, preparation for academy audition. This you too much, Maria protested. Ali, her voice lacked conviction. Mrs. Petric, Antonio said seriously, I've lived my whole life with music. It's brought me joy, purpose, livelihood. When I see child with this kind of potential growing up in poverty, knowing that talent might be wasted because OD circumstances beyond his control, that breaks my heart. He paused. Let me give your son chance I was given. Let me help him. Discover what he's capable of. Anna reached out. I took her daughter's hand. Maria, some opportunities come only once. Maria looked at son, who was staring at her with mixture ode hope I fear. You really believe he's that talented? I do. Finally, Maria nodded slowly. Okay, we can try. 3 years kasnije, 14-year-old Luka Petric stood on stage at Zagreb Concert Hall, playing violin concerto as winner of National Young Musicians Competition. In audience sat his mother and grandmother, both crying with pride, next to Antonio, who was beaming like proud father. Performance was flawless. But more than technique, Luka's music carried emotion that moved entire audience to tears. Way he played told story, I'd struggle, I'd hope, I'd dreams coming true through dedication. I supported those who believe in you. After final note, standing. Ovation lasted full 5 minutes. Later at reception, Maria approached Antonio. Maestro, how can we ever thank you? Watching your son play tonight, that's all thanks I need. But you changed our entire lives. Antonio smiled. No, your son's talent changed your lives. I just helped it surface. Luka ran over, still glowing from performance. Maestro, did you hear? Academy representative once talked to me about full scholarship. I heard. I'm so proud of you. This never would have happened bez you. This happened because you had talent. Dedication, I family who learned to support your dreams, Antonio replied. I just provided bridge. That night, as family returned home to Dječak, Luka carried his violin case, now proper instrument worthy of his abilities. I thought about journey from sad little boy begging for coins to scholarship winner headed. The prestigious academy. Sometimes miracle isn't supernatural event. Sometimes miracle is simply person who believes you when you can't yet believe you yourself. Ova inspirativna priča pokazuje kako vera u somebody's talent može completely promeniti their life. Ako vas je ova priča emotionally touched, molimo da lajkujte ovaj video da širimo poruku o importance od supporting dreams bez obzira na financial circumstances. Pretplatite se na naš kanal za more heartwarming stories koji celebrate human potential. Podijelite ovaj video s family i friends. Možda će inspirisati someone to help young person pursue their dreams. Together, možemo stvarati world gdje talent gets opportunity to flourish regardless of where it comes from. See you u sljedećem video koji će warm your heart.